Hello, friends. Welcome back to another episode. I'm glad you could join me here today, and I hope you find these sessions beneficial and interesting as I go through my own journey of self discovery, and trying to see what I need to do in life. So last in the last episode, we spoke about the purpose of life, and essentially my purpose in life, and how I've been going through this journey to discover what my purpose really is, because I've been confused the last few years on what I need to do. And I was giving the example of for example, if you're going from London to Birmingham, and if you're going from Birmingham to London, and if you start driving towards Manchester, towards Scotland, you'll never get to London because you're going the opposite direction. So there's no point of going very fast and doing the things that you want to do, but then it turns out that you're working towards the wrong purpose in life. The North Star, the direction is wrong in life, and that's it's very important to achieve. So in the last session, I say that I read a very powerful book that I really enjoyed, and I think it would be very beneficial to discuss that book, because I think it provides a good framework for us to look at and to abide by, and for us to learn from. And Yeah, I think it'd be very beneficial. So that book is it's called Designing Your Life, by Bill Burnett and Dave Evans. Now, Designing Your Life is written by these two authors who are based at the Stanford University, and they're actually the directors of the design program at Stanford, and they teach a course on designing your life. And that's why I love books. I think books are so powerful, because you have someone who studied for 20, 30, 40 years. They've synthesized and thought about these concepts so much. They produce a book, and within a week, a month, a few months, I can digest this book and know exactly what they were talking about, and learn from them. Or for example, this course at Stanford that they teach, I can't attend Stanford, but I can read the book that will give me that inspiration that I need, well, that I'm looking for in life. And I think that's the beauty about books, and that's why I absolutely love reading. It's a new hobby that I've discovered, and I hope to keep this going. And I hope whoever's listening to this, I hope you read a lot of books too, because you should be reading. Anyways, so Designing Your Life. Now, I love this book. Essentially, there's lots of reasons I love the book, but first of all, if you look at the title, Designing Your Life, the whole point of designing is you have iterations. You have a blueprint. You have like a mock-up, and you try and improve, and you make it better. And that's the whole point of it. Life is not perfect. It's never meant to be perfect. But the whole point of designing your life is you want to create a life that is worth living, a purposeful life, and you will need to design it. It doesn't come by magic. It doesn't come just like that. But also, the fact that you're designing it doesn't mean it has to be perfect straight away. You work at it, you iterate it, you become better, you ideate, and you improve it over time, and that's the whole point of designing your life. Now, if I open the book, I've read this book already, so I know the book. But if you look at chapter 1 in the book, chapter 1 says, "Start where you are." That's the title of the chapter, "Start Where You Are." And to me, this was powerful, because if you think about it, a lot of the times, especially for me, I've always been thinking about purpose, and reaching a certain point in life where I will get to where I want to get to. But the authors are telling us, no, actually, start where you are. Wherever you are is exactly the point you need to be. You don't need to be further or back on your journey. You have to be, you are wherever you are at the moment. So I'm 36 years old. I have a family. I could be working. I could be out of a job. I could be single. I could be divorced. I could be a parent. I could be a teacher. Whatever I am, I start exactly where I am, because that's where I'm meant to be. That's exactly where. There's no point of thinking about, I wish things changed in the past, or in the future I could change. They say there's a famous famous quote by Master Shifu from Kung Fu Panda. If you've watched it, he says, "Yesterday was history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift." And that's why they call it the present. The designing your life happens happens today, in the present, because whatever's happened in the past, you can't change it. It's done. It's dusted. It's gone. Whatever's to come in the future, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to live to the future. Forget what's going to happen in the future. So the only control I have is on the present, on the current. So why not design the life that you want to design in the present without having to worry about the future or the past? Of course, you think about the future, you reflect on the past and all of that stuff, but don't get fixated in the past and the future and lose out in the present. And the designing your life happens in the present. And that's why I love the fact that they started the first chapter with start where you are. Like, it's exactly where you are is where you need to be. And just to make it even better, they have like a picture in the book, in the first chapter, the first page. I don't know if you can see this. It says, "You are here," right? And that's exactly where you need to be. And for me personally, when I'm looking for to this journey in life, I am here, and that's where I need to be. I don't need to be anywhere else but here. That's where my purpose starts. My discovery starts. It's now. It is. I don't have to reach a certain point, a certain mindset before I can start thinking about, okay, now let me think about purpose and all of that stuff. And then the authors go on to talk about building a compass. So they basically talk about the North Star, where you have to, like, move towards thinking about what your purpose, the ultimate goal is, like where you want to get to. And I think one of the powerful things here is journaling. So this is my personal journal, and I write down things in this journal where I've been thinking about them, what I want to do, what I want to achieve. And journaling gives you clarity. It could be online, it could be on paper. I just prefer paper and pen, but just me personally. But it's a good way to discover what you really want. And once you find your compass, the whole point of the compass is it leads you towards it. So as you go through life goes through ups and downs, and you don't have to be on your compass the whole time. So when a ship is sailing, sometimes waves takes us away from the course, but that's fine. It's just life. It'll take us away, and all you do is you steer the ship back to the direction that it needs to go into. But as long as you have the compass, you'll know where to steer the ship back to. If you don't have the compass, then you won't know where to go. So that's interesting. Then they have chapters like wayfinding, like getting unstuck, where the whole point is you want to come out of this rut in life where you're stuck, and come out and come to a better place, where you discover who you are. You have a level playing field, a blank canvas where you can start building on, and improving your life. And then they have a chapter called prototyping. Again, a very powerful chapter. Prototyping means you are constantly ideating, iterating, improving, chopping and changing. But that's what life is. It's all about prototyping. Now, in fact, it might be that you found a compass and you're working towards that compass, and then 2 months, 3 months down the line, 2 years down the line, you're like, actually, that compass was the wrong compass. It's the other place, the other compass that I need to get towards. And then you steer your ship towards that direction. But that is purposeful, insightful, and that's truly, truly revolutionary, because you have discovered what your purpose is not, and that gets you towards what your purpose is. Because if you're working towards a purpose that is not your purpose, you won't know until you put the work in to get towards that purpose, and then you realize, I don't want that in life. I want something else in life. And we all grow and we improve, we iterate. But the whole point of prototyping is you want to discover it's an experiment. You're experimenting with life and experimenting with things that you're doing. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, you try something else. And that's the whole point of experiments. In a lab, that's what you do. You mix chemicals together. If the reaction doesn't happen, you try other chemicals. Eventually the reaction will happen. It has to happen, it will happen. Because the universe makes it in such a way that it will happen. The universe, God, or whatever you want to believe in, it will make sure that we discover that purpose in life if our heart is open to discover that. I truly believe that. And then they talk about how to design your dream job, what needs to be done, and all of that stuff. But then there are 2 chapters that I found very powerful. The first chapter is a chapter on choosing happiness. Amazing chapter, where the whole point is you want to reach the purpose and you want to reach the goal, but ultimately you want to also be happy, right? And reaching that purpose and goal will make you happy. It'll make you a happier person. And that's what you want in life. You want to lead a happy life. A happy life will be a successful life, right? There's no point of working towards a purpose making you miserable, and that isn't your purpose. If your purpose is making you miserable in life, then that isn't your purpose. And the second one is the second chapter that I found really useful is called failure immunity. The whole point is you have to be used to failure. The fact that you failed means you have tried and you have learned that the thing that you have tried will not work. and that is powerful. I think you have to work towards that. Failure is part and parcel of life. When you see a person succeeding, you haven't seen the 100 times that he's failed to get to where he is, and I think that's very useful to know. And you can speak to big people like Steve Jobs, and you can speak to read his story. You can read the story of Mark Zuckerberg. You can read the story of Richard Branson, and you'll see where they were and where they came to. They were iterating and prototyping until they came to where they are. But I think the most powerful lesson that I learned from this designing the book, Designing Your Life, and I think that's something that I'd like to take away from this episode, is the fact that it is all about the journey and not the destination. I know it's cliche. But in the search for purpose, I have done this. I have lost track of the journey itself, and I focus on the destination of where I need to reach to. But actually, it's all about the journey. I might never reach the destination, and you know what? That's perfectly fine. It doesn't matter if you don't reach the destination. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. So the key takeaway I take away from today's episode is that it's all about the journey and not the destination. I'm going to enjoy the journey. I'm going to make sure I enjoy it. I make the most of it in my discovery, in my design of life, in my discovery of my purpose. And eventually when I reach my destination, it's still the journey, because again, once I reach a destination, I'll realize actually there's more to life than what I originally thought. And that's what the whole point of prototyping is. You'll realize that there's more to life. And I think that's a very powerful lesson to take. And I hope you take the lesson as much as I took. And I'm going to try and focus more on the journey now, enjoy it, and make the most of it. I'm really glad you could join me today, and I hope you benefited from this book, Designing Your Life by Bill Burnett and Dave Evans. I highly recommend it. If you want to read the book, it's available on Amazon and all popular bookstores. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you very much for being here. Until next time, see you soon.